Hey everyone, Aaron here, and this is another video game first impressions, and today's going to be of The Legend of Legacy. So far this channel, I've actually been lucky. Every game I played so far, which is, it's only two of them so far, but I do have some other reviews coming out that have been all very positive that, I highly recommend buying them day one, or, week one, because a few of them already have come out. But the whole point of it is that, they've all been very good games. The Legend of Legacy, will it be on par with those? Will it be actually that good? Well, you have to watch this whole review to find out. So real fast, Legend of Legacy, if you haven't heard the story, it's a 3DS title that came out, so it's only available for the Nintendo 3DS via either purchase in store or on the 3DS shop. It's, I think, roughly around $39. If you can get the collector's edition still available, it's probably $49, I think. But I'll tell you right now, Legend of Legacy, everything on paper sounds like it should be the best RPG in a long time. Everything. And also, real fast, guys, I apologize. These pictures are really small. I mean, finding screen caps of 3DS games is a pain in the butt. So I apologize if they're really small and you see me kind of making them smaller and larger as time goes by. I can't help that. I'm sorry. But anyways, review counts. That's what matters. Is not the review, but the first impressions counts. I think more important. So, Legend of Legacy, if you ever heard of it, is a game that's actually it was made, by a lot of famous people. You have people that worked on the old game Saga series. You have the people that worked on 999. If you never played that, that's a brilliant escape type visual novel type game. And you have some people that worked on Final Fantasy. You have the soundtrack. You have a lot of stuff in this game that really should make for the best experience. Unfortunately, Legend of Legacy fails at every turn possible, and I'll explain why. So real fast, Legend of Legacy's bare minimum story is that a old city / island used to exist called Avalon, and on that island used to be gods, mythical creatures, and treasures beyond. But the thing is, it's mostly a myth because no one actually ever saw that place, and even more so, it disappeared until recently, where all of a sudden another island appeared called Avalon, and lo and behold, monsters and other kind of worldly things are on this island, thus enticing our characters, which there are several of them, to actually venture onto this island in search of various means. One is in search for spirits to see why spirits, which are called elementals in this game, why they've been so quiet and now all of a sudden are making noise because this city appeared. You have another one who's just out treasure hunting. You have another one with amnesia who's trying to figure out our past. And right here, this is actually the cast of characters for the most part, minus one character, it looks like, which I don't know why it's not there, but this is the most of the cast of characters that you can play as. And you can choose your own character at the beginning. Actually, you let you choose from any of the 7 characters to play off. And that sounds intriguing, right? 7 different stories, maybe multiple game playthroughs. I'll tell you right now, I can't even play through one playthrough of this, let alone several, so I give you credit if you can. But each character, again, has their own reasons for being on Avalon. It's just their purpose of being there that differs, and they all have different background stories. So, the real concept of it, though, is a lot like Final Fantasy type games, but with some twists. The combat, for example, is where characters don't level up after battle, first off. They actually sometimes randomly gain levels, sometimes they gain new skills, sometimes they gain new attribute bonuses like health and SP, etc., etc. But for the most part, it's all random, which sounds kind of intriguing, but at the same time, is not that great. It's a lot of times where I was playing through the first hour as multiple characters, and on one playthrough as one character, I gained 2 new skills. On another one, 3 hours later, I didn't get a single new skill. It's all random. It happens randomly. It's not that clever in concept. I don't know why they did this. But the concept of it was supposed to be that this game was supposed to be very similar to Bravely Default in that style, and it doesn't even come close. When you're not fighting enemies, which, by the way, one person right away in the beginning of the game tells you that you shouldn't be fighting all enemies, but if you don't fight enemies, you won't even have a chance of leveling up, so don't listen to that character at the beginning of the game. But the combat is very simple and actually probably the best part of this game, but even that isn't that great. In that every character has specific roles. You play as in a party of 3, and each character could be put into like strategy formation. So one character could be the healer of the group, focusing on healing everyone, while the other one deals out damage and the other one blocks for the group. It's kind of reminiscent of Final Fantasy 13 a little bit, the Paragon shifts, but it's not that great in concept. It sounds cool, but it's not that good. I'm telling you right now, guys, it's very disappointing combat-wise. For an RPG, nonetheless, that I really was hoping would be a lot better. Now, if you see it visually, it looks a lot like Bravely Default. If you ever played Bravely Default, I highly recommend checking out Bravely Default. That's a great game. It has very similar styles to it, where characters are all drawn sprite little chibi characters, and everything looks very nice. You look at the game and it looks very presentable for little sprite characters. I love the sprite animations; they look solid. The facial expressions, on the other hand, though, don't look good at all, where characters are very stoic in their facial expressions, which kind of surprises me. One of the joys of playing sprite-based games is when you have a character like laughing or making giant smiles and stuff. That doesn't happen very often in the Legend of Legacy. It's very odd to me. Another thing is that after you get past the initial, oh, that's pretty cool looking design of the game, it quickly wears thin. You actually realize that this game doesn't offer very much in terms of visuals. It doesn't look horrible, don't get me wrong, and it's got very nice actual background animations, but the backgrounds all look the same. Again, several hours into this game, and my thoughts of it already are, wow, I can't believe I've seen the same forest. Oh wait, I'm not in the same forest, I'm in a different place. I didn't realize that because I thought it was the same forest. It's very odd to me. Now, besides everything else story-wise, every character again has their own individual story, which sounds good on paper. Unfortunately, it doesn't come that way, where every character might have their own actual story, but it's so bare minimum that actually is what's told that you will just find yourself going, okay, why do I care? Why should I care about the girl with amnesia? Why should I care about the guy who wants treasures and is willing to risk his whole life for it? Beyond the very first few minutes of every story where you start, you will always get the same concept of then the story just goes off the rails. You get pitted off with random characters. At any time, none of the characters have their own actual meat story. They have no purpose. Besides being in your party, your character will take centerfold of a story that he doesn't even get centerfold. And by the way, let me just say this right off the bat. You see game over on the screen for a reason. You will see that within the first 10 minutes of this game if you're not well prepared to kind of go into what the game wants you specifically to do. The game tells you can do whatever you want with your paradigm shift type concept. You can go all out attacks, you can go kind of focus on magical elemental attacks, etc., etc. However, the case in point, I'll tell you right now, if you do not use guard all the time, you will find yourself getting slaughtered by every boss, every enemy in this game. I have not played through within the first 3 hours without seeing a game over on any character, regardless of who he has as his team, without having one person specifically guard every single battle. Characters will not do all that attacks as well as this game like Final Fantasy 13. I'm not a huge fan of Final Fantasy 13, but I did love the combat concept of it, and it's not even that well done in that sense. But in this game, it's even worse in that, again, you must adhere to everything that the game tells you to do. So for example, one of the first bosses is a kind of giant winged creature. Not like this one, but more so a little tiny winged moth creature. And I say large, but when you see the sprite character, it looks small. But what's going to happen essentially at the very beginning is that it's going to attack you. And what happens is if you do not have at least one person guarding on each turn, you will get slaughtered. And even when you're guarding, you might get slaughtered because the character has an AoE attack, which will attack all 3 of your party members and could easily wipe them all out. This game has the most unfair, I think, leveling system and unfair system of just RNG that I've ever seen in any RPG game in a long, long time. It's outrageous that this game came out in the time period it did. I'll be honest with you, Legend of Legacy, I think we're gonna end on the game over screen. I'm gonna keep that on the page for the rest of this scene. Honestly, I would say avoid this like the plague. I'm being honest with you guys. I don't like saying that about video games. I really don't. And remember also, guys, I actually have to pay for these games. I don't actually get them. I'm not a reviewer. I don't get, them in advance. I have to actually pay and shell out money for these games. And I'll tell you guys my impression. So, I'm telling you honestly what I feel about a game. I'll tell you right now, my first impressions after playing this for maybe a good 8-9 hours is that this game is garbage. I'm being honest with you. It has some very nice art. It has some very nice sprite characters. If you get the collector's edition is nice because it comes with a nice hard 40-page art book and a soundtrack, which the soundtrack is very meh because, a lot of the music in-game is very okay. It's not great. It's not horrible. It's not that great though. But this is a perfect example of so many developers coming together on a game. So many creators that have pedigree licenses in terms of RPGs and Japanese games in general, and ending with this concept that this game is just so bad. Like, something happened that I think they must have missed notes, or maybe they just didn't understand one another's concept or visions of this game. But there's a lot of stuff that's just mismatched. That whole random combat system, as cool as it might seem on paper, just as stupid when you actually having to play this game, and dying within the first couple minutes is, listen, I play Dark Souls, for example. Dark Souls is considered one of the hardest games. Demon Souls, Bloodborne. I played all of those. I beat all of those games. So I'm not akin to not playing hard games, and especially RPGs. I actually put RPGs most of the time, like Tales of Vesperia or Tales of Symphonia. I play those games with hard to very hard difficulty. So I know hard, RPGs, and I'm not trying to say that, this game is so outrageously hard. It's not that it's outrageously hard, it's unfair outrageously hard. And that nothing in the game is gained by chance or by actually showing progression. This is a game that, honest to God, is just the worst game I've played so far this year. I spent $49 on it, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to sell this back just because I want to make some money back off of it. I don't want to keep this in my collection. I don't want anything to do with this game. I can't actually put any more time into this game. So, but anyways, guys, I hope this rant didn't go on too long, but I just want to tell you guys how I feel this way so you guys can avoid spending money, because I know games are expensive nowadays. You can't go out and buy them so easily unless you're working solely for games. You have other things about your life that you have to commit to. Save your $49, put it towards something else. Put it towards Tales of Zestria coming out. That's going to be a good game, I think. I hope so. I'm buying the collector's edition for that. That's $120. Hopefully that's good. I'll be reviewing that. The update video that probably came out before this will explain more about my situation with reviewing that. I want to review that, or not. Not review it, but talk about my first impressions of it. Anyways, guys, though, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Until our I apologize. Until our paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye. Oh, and if you like, comment, subscribe, the whole nine. I don't want to keep saying that. I always feel bad saying that to you guys, but if you do like this, comment to it, share it to other people, subscribe. I'm not going to beat that into you all the time, so if I forget to say it once in a while, it's not a big deal. Anyways, guys, I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day. Bye.